The faint hum of the air conditioner did nothing to soften the heaviness that hung in their apartment. Maverick leaned against the cool marble counter, his fingers tapping absent-mindedly while his eyes stayed fixed on Aurora. Her brow was tense, her thumb scrolling endlessly over her phone. He recognized that look. Another clash with her mother. It was always the same. Margaret Holloway's cutting, unrelenting voice seeping into their marriage like poison. "She says we should book a villa in Tuscany for our anniversary," Aurora muttered, still staring at her screen, her tone sharp. "A weekend in the mountains is quaint." Maverick swallowed a sigh. Quaint. A polite insult, courtesy of Margaret Holloway, the woman who never forgave her daughter for marrying a history teacher instead of a man with an inherited law firm. He had tried in the beginning. Dinners, gifts, polite chats, even nodding through her lectures about financial security. But 5 years in, the effort had soured into quiet resentment. "We agreed the cabin was what we wanted," he reminded carefully, straightening from the counter. Aurora finally glanced up, hazel eyes flickering with something he couldn't quite read. Guilt. Irritation. Both. "It's not about us, Maverick. It's about appearances. You know how she is." Appearances. Another one of Margaret's obsessions. Maverick turned away, staring at the rain-slicked streets of downtown Boston. Their loft, with its brick walls and tall glass windows, had been Aurora's idea. A compromise after her mother called their first apartment unfit for company. But over time it stopped feeling like home and started feeling more like a showroom, every piece of furniture chosen to impress. Later that night, as he sat on the couch grading papers, Aurora stepped out of the bedroom in a sleek black dress he didn't recognize. Her perfume drifted through the air, floral, expensive, unfamiliar. "Date night?" he asked, forcing a smile. "Just meeting Clara for drinks," she replied lightly, fastening the diamond studs he had once saved for months to buy. "She's going through a divorce. Needs company at 10 p.m. She's a night owl." Aurora avoided his eyes, slipping on her heels. "Don't wait up." The door clicked shut. Maverick stared at the stack of essays, but the words blurred. His phone sat beside him. Last week Clara had texted asking if Aurora was okay, said she'd skipped 3 book club meetings. His thumb hovered over her name, but he set it aside. Suspicion felt ugly. The call came at 2 a.m. Maverick jolted awake, heart pounding. Aurora's side of the bed was empty. He fumbled for his phone. An unknown number lit the screen. "Mr. Carter, this is Officer Briggs. Your wife's been in an accident." The words hit like a punch. Accident. Hospital. Stable condition. The drive to Mass General blurred by in red lights and rain. Relief surged when he saw her upright on a gurney, a bandage across her forehead, the black dress stained with dirt. Then he noticed the man beside her, tall, broad-shouldered, suit tailored to perfection. His hand lingered on Aurora's shoulder with a casual possessiveness. "You must be Maverick," the man said, extending a hand. "Lucas Green. I was driving by when her car spun out. Lucky I stopped." Maverick shook his hand mechanically, throat tight. Aurora wouldn't meet his gaze. "Thanks," Maverick muttered flatly. "I'll take it from here." Lucas's eyes flicked toward Aurora, a silent message passing between them. "Of course. Take care of her," he said smoothly. The ride home was suffocating. Aurora stared out the window, arms folded, her reflection fractured in the city lights. "It was just a skid," she said carefully. "The roads were wet." Maverick's grip tightened on the wheel. "Where was Clara tonight?" Silence. Then softly, "I needed space." Questions twisted in his chest like a vice, but he said nothing. The next morning, sliding into his car, something sparkled on the passenger seat. A single diamond stud. Aurora hadn't worn them the night before. He lifted it slowly. A faint cologne lingered in the air, sharp and foreign. At lunch, he scrolled through Aurora's Instagram. Her newest post caught him. A rooftop bar he didn't recognize. Caption: "Midnight Therapy." Timestamp: Last Thursday, the same night she claimed to console Clara. In her sunglasses reflection, a man leaned at the bar, smirking. Lucas Green. After that, Maverick started noticing. The late-night calls whispered in hallways. The new lingerie tucked in a Bloomingdale's bag, tags untouched. The way she recoiled from his touch, as if he were made of ash. One afternoon while she was out, he searched her desk. Beneath interior design magazines, he found a crumpled hotel receipt. The Liberty, room 123. King bed. Dated 2 weeks ago. His knees gave out as he sank into a chair, the paper trembling in his hands. 5 years. 5 years of holding his tongue through Margaret's sneers, of smiling at backhanded compliments, of believing Aurora would step out from her mother's shadow. For what? A notification pinged on her laptop, still open. An email from Lucas. Can't stop thinking about last night. Meet me tomorrow. Maverick shut his eyes. The room spun. That evening when Aurora came home, he sat waiting at the dining table. The earring and the receipt lay under the glow of the chandelier. She froze, then lifted her chin, her face unreadable. For a moment he expected denial. Instead she whispered, "You weren't enough. You'll never be enough." The words sliced through the last thread of their marriage. Maverick rose slowly, his chair scraping against the hardwood. His face calm, his voice low. "Pack your things. Be gone tonight." Aurora didn't beg. She didn't cry. She pulled her suitcase out, wheels clicking a steady farewell until the door slammed shut. Silence roared in the loft. 2 days later a letter arrived. Inside was a check for $50,000 and a note in Margaret Holloway's pristine script. "For your discretion." Maverick tore it in half. The pieces drifted into the trash. Worthless, just like the woman who sent them. That night, he drove to the Liberty Hotel, the single diamond stud clenched tight in his palm. At the front desk, the clerk hesitated when he gave the name. "Lucas Green," she repeated, fingers pausing over the keyboard. "Room 1203. But he's not alone." Maverick took the stairs. Each step burned through his chest like fire. Outside the door, laughter spilled into the hall. Aurora's laugh, light, unfamiliar. His fists rose, ready to pound on the wood to demand answers. But he stopped. "You're better than this." His fingers uncurled. He crouched and set the earring gently on the doormat. A silent accusation. Let her explain that to her lover. A week later the divorce papers came. Maverick signed without reading, his pen scraping across the page. That evening he packed her last belongings. Dresses, perfume, even the untouched wedding album. As he sealed the final box, his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "She's pregnant." The word blurred. His breath stalled, chest pounding. Then, delete block. Let Lucas handle the wreckage. Let Margaret twist the truth. Maverick poured a whiskey, the ice clinking like a hollow toast to freedom. Outside, city lights blurred into constellations of wounds. For the first time in years, the air felt light, unburdened. The whiskey burned, but the numbness stayed out of reach. With a growl, he hurled the glass into the sink. The shatter cracked through the loft like gunfire. Dawn crept in, painting the walls gray. He hadn't slept. "She's pregnant." The words gnawed at him, a taunt laced with betrayal. 3 days passed. Her boxes still sat by the door, a monument to his paralysis. On the 4th morning his phone buzzed again. Voicemail. Margaret's clipped tone. "Maverick, we need to discuss the situation. My office. Noon." He deleted it. Let it rot. At 11 a knock. Maverick opened the door to find Lucas Green leaning on the frame, smugness radiating. "Carter," Lucas drawled. "We need to talk." Maverick's fists curled, but he stepped aside. Lucas strolled in, smirking at the bare loft. "Cozy," he mocked. "Aurora said you were sentimental." Maverick's jaw set. "Get to the point." Lucas slid a folded ultrasound across the counter. Congratulations, he sneered. You're going to be a dad. The grainy black and white image swam. Maverick's vision tunneled. Well, dates. Aurora had left months ago. Impossible. You're lying, he said flatly. Lucas chuckled. Check the timestamp. That kid's yours. But here's the twist. Aurora doesn't want it. Neither do I. The room tilted. Maverick gripped the counter. Why tell me? Lucas shrugged. You're the noble one, right? Thought you'd clean up your own mess. The punch landed before Maverick realized he'd thrown it. Lucas staggered, blood dripping from his lip. You're pathetic, Maverick spat. Both of you. Lucas wiped his mouth, still grinning. She's at the clinic right now. Better hurry. The Uber ride blurred. Rain pounded as Maverick sprinted into the downtown clinic. Past the protests, past the receptionist's protests, until he found her. Aurora sat in a sterile room, pale beneath fluorescent lights. Maverick! She clutched a clipboard to her chest. Is it true? His voice broke. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. His eyes dropped to the forms in her hands. Termination consent papers. His name listed under father. Why? The word tore from him. Aurora hugged herself, mascara streaked from tears. I couldn't. He wouldn't. It's not the life I wanted. His fists curled. You don't get to choose that alone. You signed the divorce papers, she whispered. You let me go. You lied. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. A nurse stepped in, wary. Maverick lowered his voice. You don't want it. Fine. But that child is mine. Aurora gasped. I'll raise it alone, he pressed. Sign the custody papers, or I'll drag Margaret's secrets into the light. The custody battle was vicious. Margaret's lawyers swarmed like vultures, but Maverick was ready. He had receipts, emails, hotel footage. His investigator uncovered more than enough. Under pressure, Aurora cracked, her porcelain mask shattering. The judge's gavel fell. Full custody. Maverick moved into a small apartment by the Charles River. Bare walls, except for one ultrasound taped to the fridge. At 3 a.m., he read parenting books, trembling as he assembled a crib. The night before the due date, his phone rang. Aurora's name lit the screen. It's happening, she gasped. Mass General. Please. He hung up. At dawn, a nurse placed a squalling infant in his arms. A girl, pink and furious, with Aurora's nose and his stubborn frown. Sophia, he whispered. The name settled in his bones like a vow. Through the glass, Aurora stood in the hallway, her silhouette fragile against the morning light. She pressed a hand to the window, her reflection ghostly. Maverick turned away, cradling Sophia closer. Some betrayals, he realized, were blessings in disguise.